Hey everybody, I'm J-Rock. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you stopping through. And if you're a returning subscriber, you've probably noticed that I haven't made any videos recently. And that's really because I didn't have it in me. With everything that's going on in the country, from a racial standpoint, society, everything, I just didn't have it in me to make videos. I needed to really take some time to internalize what was going on before I came on here and made a video. I don't even have a script for this. I'm really just winging it. So let's just start at the beginning. Unless you were born this morning, by now you have heard about the tragic deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery. But if you've been living in this country for any period of time, you know these are not the first names or hashtags to come out about to highlight Black people being victimized by police brutality or at the hands of racists. You've heard the names Tatiana Jefferson, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice. You've heard these names before in some form or fashion, whether it's a protest or you've seen it trending on Twitter, whatever it may be. These names have been in the news. And the most unfortunate part is the fact of I don't think that these are going to be the last names we hear. I mean, honestly, if you've been online in the past couple of days, you've heard about Rayshard Brooks, who died at the hands of police. I believe it was in Atlanta because, they suspected him of, being drunk, and they said that he took the taser and he ended up dead as well. At some point, as Black people, we do get exhausted, but that's not what I want to focus on in this video. What I want to talk about in this video is what happens after that. What happens next? Are we going to keep that same energy? Because it's easy for everyone to come out and say, Black Lives Matter, shop Black businesses, vote in your community, make sure that you're looking out for Black people. It's all the rage to do that right now because it's popular. Y'all saw the Black squares that were on Instagram, and people didn't even know what they were for, but they were putting them on Instagram to try to capitalize on the events of what's happening right now. And then they deleted the squares so it didn't mess up their Instagram feed. That was funny. But the question is, after all of that dies down, after there's no more hype, after the news cameras have moved on to something else, and social media moves on to something else, who's going to keep that same energy? Because for Black people, this is what we live every day. You live in a certain amount of fear every day as a Black person. It doesn't have anything to do when the cameras are on or off. But the fact is, this is what we live every day. And what kind of support or what kind of changes can we expect after all of this is said and done? And that's the reason why I also waited to make my video. I didn't want to, I also needed time because I just couldn't make a video because my brain physically wouldn't let me get in front of the camera because I had to really decompress. But in addition to that, I didn't want to be on the bandwagon because I want to make sure that now that it seems like things have almost started to die down, I wanted to make sure that I had a conversation about what happens now. Are we going to keep that same energy? Change doesn't come when the hype is going on. It can kickstart a conversation. So that's why you see that they passed the law for Breonna Taylor and they arrested George Floyd's killers. Change can happen or get started in the midst of protests, in the midst of people shaking the table and flipping things over. But then what about the systemic change that we want to see, the institutionalized change, the true police reform, the true investment in Black communities? All of that happens when the cameras aren't rolling. And so that's why I wanted to come on here and say, listen, if you truly are about Black Lives Matter, it's not enough to just say today or this week or even this month, Black Lives Matter. It's not enough to post a Black square on your Instagram feed. It's not enough to just retweet while the retweets are hot and build up your social media following. What Black people are looking for right now are people who are going to stand with us past this point. And we don't want more than anyone else. We just want the same thing as everyone else, which means that we're not disproportionately killed by the police, that we have the same access to healthcare as everyone else. We have the same access to education as everyone else. That the sentences we receive for crimes that are committed are the same as everyone else. All we're asking for is to get the same things that everyone else is getting. And so my question to you is, are you going to keep that same energy? If you watch this video and think about what it is that you can do in your community, what is it that you can do past today, past June? What can you do to make sure that you're keeping that same energy? Because that's where change really, really comes from. Like I said, I don't have a script for this. This is probably one of the the most all over the place videos that I'm going to make. But as a Black woman in America, I'm afraid. I'm absolutely afraid. And people think, well, because you're well educated or you live in a good part of town or whatever it might be, that you don't have to be afraid. But you can see countless examples online of people who are even celebrities who are still mistreated by the police. And it's only because their celebrity comes up that it's like, oh, wait, all right, never mind. But the fact is, if you're not a celebrity, what happens to you? And what we're seeing right now are the things that are actually being captured on video. And we've seen that they will straight up lie about what you see on the video. So if they're willing to lie about what you see on the video, imagine what else is happening when the cameras aren't rolling. That's the America we live in. That's the fear that Black people have to live in every day, is you really don't know what can happen to you if people really don't want to see you thrive. They really don't want to see you be successful. They really don't even want you here, period. That's the reality that we live in. And so my question to you is that if you're a person who has been donating to the bail funds and retweeting, I'm here for it all day, every day. The support is definitely appreciated, but please keep that same energy, because these fights are going to be long. Change does not happen overnight. Change does not happen in a month. Change doesn't just happen because one thing got caught on camera. This is, we want people who are willing to stand with us and do the work with us past 2020, because everything ain't gonna happen in 2020. And so, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and make this video and plead to the people who are watching this video is that Black lives do matter, but they don't just matter when the cameras are rolling. They don't just matter because you're getting likes or clicks or retweets. They matter every single day. And it's not that they matter more than anyone else's lives. The fact is ours matter just as much as anyone else. And so, like I said, I'm pleading with you guys, and I know, I just feel like I'm so all over the place in this video, but I'm just so passionate about this right now because I know the fear that I'm living in, and I know the fear that I feel for my family, my brothers, my sisters, my friends. I feel that fear on a daily basis. And while I've started to try to get back to normal life, quote unquote, trying to get back to normal life, that's something that continues to be in the back of my head. It's like, where do we go from here? Where does it end? How do we change things? And so if you have an opportunity in your community to do more than just talk, if you have the ability to impact a conversation in a real way, to help real change happen, to use your voice and vote in November. And just a side note, I'm definitely going to have the political videos coming up here because things are crazy right now. But if you have the voice to invest resources to amplify the voices of Black people who may not be being heard, I'm asking you to go out there and to do the work, not when just the cameras are rolling, not just when the hype is there, but to do it every single day, because we have to do this every day, no matter whether the cameras are rolling or not. So if you truly believe that Black lives matter, if you're truly saying, listen, I stand with y'all, I want to see you guys be successful, I don't want you guys to get gunned down needlessly in this country, I believe that in equality, I believe that Black lives matter, then I'm asking you guys to keep that same energy. I don't even know if this video made any sense. I really, really don't. But I just had to get that off my chest. What happens now? What happens when the cameras turn off? And the only way that change happens when the cameras turn off is if we keep that same energy. I appreciate you guys watching it. You can give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down. I don't really know. Let's just keep the conversation going. You can drop a comment below. Or if you want to follow me on Twitter or any of the other platforms and you want to start a conversation with me there, that's cool. But I just had to come and talk to you guys. I've been in my feelings, and but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, and I didn't want it to just be all about my feelings. It's easy for me to come up here and say, woe is me, I'm black. I can come on here and do that, but the fact is, I want to see real change happen. And the fact is, we can't have change in this country if we're all not trying to get it to happen. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. I'm out.